All right, we get going here. We got Luna in tow in the trailer. All right, so you'll notice we're going through a very grown in section here. I gotta keep my eyes on the road and not on Luna. All right, resuming our journey here. You can see how badly grown in it is. And what's interesting is that this section was one of the last to have its rails removed. So the rails were not removed here until some point in 2010. But the growth here is just absolutely ridiculous. It looks like a little bush trail. And your only hint that we're on a railway grade is the ballast. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip you ahead a little bit here. This section here seems like it's fairly well traveled, so there aren't too many ballast issues. So you remember me saying in the first segment we did have some issues with Luna on our last hike. Her paws got all torn up. So that's why I've got the trailer. So one of the interesting things on this section here, there's some stuff to see. We passed one bridge and then we're going to be passing another one. No culvert markers, which is very unusual. Usually you see at least a few. I know sometimes they're not always on there, sometimes they're not legible, but every single culvert does not have a marker on it. So here you can see Suckle Creek beside us, and again, as I mentioned, we are going to be paralleling that all the way along. Here coming up, we actually have a couple of ties that are still in place, and so you can see them here. Luna's managing to stay inside the trailer. I got the trailer. I didn't want to get. They make ones that are like a child carrier that have a cover. Maybe I should have got that one where I can zip her in, and then she can't get out. So here you can see the different ballast here. So this is a section that was obviously changed or repaired. Wow, that's not fun going over there with the bike. That was at one time a rock culvert that was replaced. We went and looked, and it was a more modern metal culvert that was put in there. Here you can see a little bit more rock work. Again, I was surprised at the amount of rock work that I saw in this area. You know, I thought it would be a little bit more kind of low and kind of swampier, given the area to the west of here. Here you can see again, it's all kind of grown in. Again, very difficult to imagine that there was a, you know, the railway line was still here in, you know, 2010. It's only been 12 years. You know, Mother Nature really works fast. Here, I think we're going to be getting into some more rock work again. One of the reasons why it's so grown in is rock cuts are usually notorious for being grown in. The vegetation doesn't really have anywhere to go when it starts to grow, and the sides are already narrow, and so they tend to sort of clog up very quickly. Wow. It's not easy pulling a 60-pound dog. And because it's so narrow in here, it makes it very difficult to kind of navigate yourself. You don't want to ride in the middle too long, because this middle rut usually is full of ballast. So here it widens out a little bit. And so here, there's another concrete culvert. We went down and to take a look at it, but you can't really see much. Just by the nature, it's kind of low and kind of swampy here, where you really couldn't see a lot of the culvert, but it is there. Okay, I'm gonna zip you ahead a little bit more here. Man, when you get through some sections of ballast here, it's tough. All right, I'm not going to slow down here, because if I slow down, Luna's going to jump out. But we have a point of interest here. We have a telegraph pole, and we're going to go take a look at it. All right, so we made our way inside the bush here, and you can see a very, very rare sight. We actually have a standing telegraph pole. Again, this is extremely unusual. I've probably seen maybe 10, maybe a dozen poles that are still standing on this line, particularly in a more kind of remote location like this. Probably hard to see on the camera, but I a lot of the insulators on there are busted. Maybe there's a couple that are still okay. Over here, I noticed that there was one on the ground. There's a Dominion 42, and of course it's got a big chunk missing out of it. So that's on the ground. I don't see anything else kind of lying around. So it's got a big number 1 on the side. So the poles were numbered to allow for better identification for certain areas of the grade. Okay, so we'll, speaking of the grade, we'll jump back on there and continue our journey. All right, back in the saddle here. We're trying to work our way to milepost 3. Got a little bit of a washout right up here. And I think milepost 3 is just right there. Dog's looking to jump out at any opportunity she can. So you can see the little bit of a washout here. I don't know if there was maybe a little box culvert or something there at some point. And so here we have a bridge crossing coming up. Oh, it's a lot of work pulling this dog. So you can see Noah's waiting for us, and the bridge is also milepost 3. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold up here, and then we are going to make our way across the bridge.